and welcome to this first race of Season 2 of TUF. This is TUF1. We are here at Canada. Some new drivers, some returning drivers, and I'm here with a new face here in the commentary box. I'm here with Storm Kings. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Oh, well, other than the weather bothering, but yeah, no, I'm doing fantastic. Hopefully, and this race will be even better than what the weather is outside.
Yeah, hopefully. Of course, it is Canada. It is a tricky track to grasp here, but should be very entertaining nonetheless. Of course, we've got some new drivers in here that we didn't have before. We have Samba in here, we have Panos Kara, we have Miltos, and I believe that's it for the new drivers. But of course we have the returning drivers here, the old faithful in Luca, the likes of Julian, Toma, Bats as well. So yeah, it's going to be really entertaining race for us, and probably the most competitive grid we have had so far in TUF.
Yeah, and I think for me coming in as a reserve, like to help you out and everything, it's definitely going to be an eye opener for myself into the new league and everything, and hopefully see some competitive action. And World of Champions should be quite an interesting one.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be very interesting. So, just on board with Luca now as he's on a lap. He did set a purple first sector. So, let's see how he can finish off this lap. I don't believe he is the first person to cross the line, but I like to stick with the people who are known here. He sets a purple sector 2 now. Of course, that isn't beaten by the Ferrari behind, but yeah, hopefully he can get through the World of Champions. Of course, he did back out of the lap actually. His red light is flashing, so he is in harvest mode. So he's going for another lap. Let's see, it is Stinner. Oh no, maybe that's just a visual glitch there, but it did set a 1:13.3. I do believe that may have been, he did back off down the main straight there, but yeah, 1:13.3, not really a representative time, as Henry puts in a 1:09.5. Bats comes across the line shortly after, and then Julian as well, a 1:91 on the mediums. Very solid lap from him. The Samba goes even quicker on the mediums, just under 2 tenths quicker than Julian. So like I said, it's a very, very competitive grid here. So yeah, it's already looking very competitive.
Yeah, and the other thing I think with a full lobby is track space. You've got to get the track space, and being Canada, you don't get a lot of that because it is quite closed in packed, especially World of Champions. Lots of invalidated, as Luca has invalidated his lap, so he's going to be going again on the mediums.
So yeah, we've got, gonna hop on board with, I believe, yeah, I'm gonna hop on board with Panos Kara now, as he's just going down the back straight, the DRS straight. He's going to go into the World of Champions. Let's just see how he does. Very clean and tidy. A little bump with the wall, but that won't hurt him. Let's see what time he puts up. It's a 1:91, puts himself P4, only 5,000. Samba goes even quicker on the mediums, a 1:88. So yeah, only 5,000 splitting Julian and Panos Kara. So we're already getting very tight gaps between the drivers here.
Yeah, and that 188 is on the medium, so he hasn't even gone onto the softs yet, which just shows the pace he has potentially around this track. And all the top 5 are all on the mediums. Well, now top 6 are on the mediums, so it just shows maybe the mediums are the better tyre here than the softs for qualifying.
Yeah, it does look like it. Of course, it is I believe a preferred race tie here is the softs do tend to drop off a little bit. As you were talking, Miltos did go P2 with a 188 as well, so Samba and Miltos setting the pace already on the medium tyre.
Yeah, both ERT drivers as well, so they'll be happy with that as well. It just looks to be 1 minute overcast and the next minute the sun's coming out, as a few of the drivers are coming into the pits, which are the medium runners. 14 drivers have pitted, and one of the strong favourites, Luca, is sitting in P15 with a 1:13.3, so hopefully he can get a better lap in on this qualifying session.
Yeah, hopefully he can, and just as you were mentioning ERT drivers, the top 3 so far on the laps are actually ERT drivers. So, shows that they've got good recruiting here.
Yeah, ERT OP.
Yeah, ERT takeover.
Yeah. So there's a roundabout, is there 5 drivers that haven't set? Yeah, but they are on, well, some are on flying laps, some are on, well, one's on out lap and 2 are in the pits. So who is Santiro? Is that, I do apologise if I say names wrong. I've only just literally looked at the names, and he is coming through, I believe, the first DRS zone. He is. He's in the Alpine, new season, so hopefully he'll want to get himself in that championship fight. Like you said, it is very competitive. The corner he's just gone through, you can invalidate there if you do go quite wide. As he comes through up into the hairpin, and then he will go down the back straight onto the DRS into the Wall of Champions.
So yeah, it's looking very competitive here. We've just noticed Samba and Henry have already selected soft tyres, so they're going to want to set laps on the fast tyres. He gets through very nicely the Wall of Champions. Does Santero gets a little toe as well. P12 on the mediums is a very good representative lap from him and a good banker, so hopefully when he goes over to the soft tyre he can improve on that further and get himself into the top 10.
Yeah, and I think the people that have already used the softs, they're going to have to maybe go to another set of softs, whereas the people that use the mediums, their softs that they're going to put on now are going to be fresh, so they're going to be able to set the best lap possible. But I wonder if Samba or anyone can go even in to a low 1.8 or a high 1.7.
Yeah, I'm just looking on board with Miltos now, and he's actually chosen to go out on the used set of mediums that he did the lap time on, so maybe he's confident that it can go even quicker on the mediums.
Yeah, I think with the mediums, obviously, you probably get better grip and the longevity of the tyre, being the type of track it is, with the invalidations that you can pick up, especially in Wall of Champions. I'm sure yourself as a league racer, you know, we must get frustrated at that corner so many times. But yeah, I think maybe one more lap on the mediums might do him, like, for track knowledge, where he needs to brake, when he can, you know, go into a corner a little bit more with a little bit more speed. So yeah, it's just probably a little bit of track knowledge he wants, and that's probably why he's gone on the mediums.
Yeah, so just gonna see who's close to crossing the line. Just on board with Toma now. He is 3/10 up on his time on the mediums, so that we'll see him jump in, and maybe Panos Cara, and maybe even Julian at this point. So he could see himself as high as 5th if he can get Wall of Champions right. He does. He is running low on ERS though. What is his time? It's only a 1/10 improvement, so he stays where he is. Actually, no, he jumps Finn, his teammate, and he's 2 thousandths ahead of him.
Yeah, and if that is a race start with the top 3 ERT and there's an accident on turn 1, I would not want to be in their Discord or their team chat after, because that could get a bit heated. As Panos Kyra has retired. Where's he retired? Oh, Sector 2. That's, I believe, the start of the DRS zone, I believe. As Samba is coming through the hairpin onto the DRS, he's going to get a tow from the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, he's going to get a big toe from him. It is a bit far back, but Panascara does go quicker on the mediums, but Samba might be very close to displace him here. He is getting a toe from Snarf in front, Samba. Let's see what time he can get. It's a 183, 4.5 tenths improvement from Samba, over 3 tenths quicker than Miltos. So yeah, it's very, very strong pace. Of course, you did say maybe looking into getting into the high 1.7s, low 1.8s, and Samba is definitely proving you right.
Yeah, I think it's the Belgium that can potentially do it. I've seen him in other leagues do it, and yeah, I know his wheel was broken. I don't know if he got it fixed, but I know on pad he was not liking it at all. But hopefully this pace is showing that he has got his wheel back, and he's back up to where he wants to be competitively.
So yeah, just looking at Vin, he put in a 108.7 dead, and just hopping back over to Julian, going through the wall of champions, straight to the line, and it's puts him up into P4. It's a 189 on the mediums, so still not the quickest on the mediums, but showing that he has the pace on them come race.
Yeah, and I think with this track, I don't know for yourself, but it's kind of, you might want to prefer to get a further back grid position because of turn 1, and into turn 2 you might have a few knocks and bumps, they might as well say.
Yeah, so Stinner goes P14 with a 198, and just as we're talking bats on the mediums, goes P11 with a 195. Luca still hasn't improved his 113. Maybe he's really struggling with track limits here, but he's still on the mediums. He's only done 2 laps on them so far, so yeah, we'll have to stick on board with him for now and just see what his improvement is through sector 2 and see roughly where that will put him. So yeah, just gonna stick with him, see how he does this lap. We have Stinner pulled off to the right hand side. He see how he does hairpin, very clean, a bit close to the wall on the exit, but of course carrying the speed through the hairpin onto the DRS straight. See how he takes the wall of champions chicane. It's claimed so many. Gets a little bit oversteery on the exit, but he keeps it on track, keeps it out of the wall. What can he do? He puts himself P4 above Julian, and it's a 1.8.7. So less than a tenth behind Vin, and he's on, well, a better race tyre.
Yeah, and but just before we were starting this stream, you were saying, like, you know, he's maybe one of the competitive, well, one of the fastest people as well. So if he can get into the pits quick enough and get a set of softs on, he may have 1 lap to get a lap time on the softs. But with that, I don't think he would opt to go for a final run, because it is going to take wear out of the tyre life. So he may just keep the P4, and hopefully with the remaining drivers left he doesn't get knocked down any further, but that may not be the case.
So yeah, I'm just on board with Toma now. He's on a 193. It was a 3.5 tenth improvement for him. He is on the set of softs now. Let's see where he goes. He goes P4 now. He puts up a 1.8.7. So again, it's quicker than Luca, but Luca's on a better race tyre. So out of the top 4, we've got 3 ERT drivers.
Yeah, and like I said, I wouldn't want to be them going into turn 1 if that goes all wrong. I wouldn't want to be in their party. But yeah, it's a very close grid for my first commentary here, and yeah, what a track to come at. A lot of the drivers are now coming out of the pits for which would be their final runs. 3 drivers haven't set any times at all, but they are on flying laps, I believe. which is Josh, Mini, and Funky. I don't know if obviously, well, they wouldn't have any qualifying bands as it's the first race of the season, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they place themselves, as I think one of them has just got a time, which would be Foxy. Funky.
Yeah.
He's in P14. So not a great day for the Mercedes team, P11 and P14.
Yeah, it's quite a change from the in real life where them and Red Bull are fighting. Red Bull are actually very much like their real life counterparts in P3 and P4 at the moment.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit of a shock to the system with an Aston Martin at the front.
Yeah.
I don't think the lobby can handle it.
No.
But yeah, everybody on the softs now, except from Josh and Funky. Josh 119.3. That can't be. He's on. I think he might have bottled that somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's just going to be. I think he may be going into the pits because his fuel light is flashing, so he won't have enough fuel to do another lap, I believe. But with the rush of everyone coming out, gonna have to see. I think that's Dreamsy who's gonna be the first person to cross the line to set a representative time. See what he can do. It's an improvement on his 110. It is. It only puts him P16. For Mercedes, Kills, I believe he's just starting a lap. Actually, no, that was Funky. Don't believe that was an improvement for him. But next person to cross the line is a Haas. It is Henry. What can he do? Puts himself P2 or 184 for Henry. So he is very good. He did get a purple third sector there. Just keeping an eye on who else is close to crossing the line. We have Julian. It is 3/10 improvement, I believe. Puts himself P1. Does Julian, and now the faster lap times are coming thick and fast. We have a Ferrari coming towards the line. It is Stinner now. Let's see. He is in the pits. He did invalidate his time. We have Funky, I believe, coming down pit straight. He comes into the pits. Third time lucky with Dreamsy. He comes into the pits. Who's that now? That is Luca going through the Wall of Champions chicane. Very neat and tidy through there. Let's see what time he can do. Puts himself P1 ahead of Julian, a 1:08.2. Both of the TUF boys showing their pace now. We have Miltos going towards the line. He goes and bails into the pits, so only as high as P6 for Miltos, and that is everyone done.
Yeah, and that's some impressive lap times from a few people, and that's, yeah, as you mentioned before, Luca on pole position with Julian in P2, so that's going to be a battle to watch, I think, when we go for the race start in a few moments.
Yes, very, like I was explaining to you before, this is probably the most competitive grid we have had. Of course, the only anomaly here is Panascara, as low as he is. He only managed to set one lap, I believe, and that was on the mediums with a 191. But still, he's starting P11, which isn't exactly a bad place to start.
Yeah, and I think some people might say P11 may be the OP place to get in the qualifying. So yeah, Luca on P1, taking pole position with Julian in P2. Samba running off that podium, well, that top three, should I say, in third. Then we've got fourth Henry, in fifth we've got Vin, sixth we've got, I'm going to really struggle with these names now, Militos, I think that's how you pronounce it. Seventh, Only Toma. 8th, Santiro. 9th, Foxy. 10th, Sanaf. If I've pronounced it wrong, I do apologise. 11th, Panoscara. 12th, Kills. 13th, Boogeyman. And I'll have to read the rest when we get on the formation lap.
So yeah, judging by what tyre, well, I'm not actually quite sure what the weather will be like, judging off the tyres. We do have some people inside the top 10 who's, well, we can see now it is. We do see a big dark cloud above the track, but for the most part, it looks like it's going to be a dry session, but like I said, a big dark cloud looming over the track, so maybe dry to wet.
Yeah, and I think with this track, it is known for rain, but not too heavy, I don't think. Because since the last update, I don't know if you've seen it, but especially Imola, it rains, but it doesn't rain hard enough that you can still keep on the soft or dry tyre a little bit more, but it doesn't wet the track enough. But yeah, it'll be interesting, I think, with this track, because it does get wet quite quickly if it does rain. So the top 10 is quite a mixed strategy. Everyone except from 2 drivers are on the soft compound tyre. Militos in the Ferrari and Sanaf is in the medium, so that'll be interesting off the line. Everyone P11 down to P18 on the mediums, and then Mini is on the softs, and Josh ran off the full lobby 20 with a medium compound tyre. So the game suggests a 2-stop soft medium. What would you kind of go for in this situation?
If it was to stay completely dry for the whole race, I'd actually do soft, medium, soft. If you have to start on the softs, that's what I would do. If you're on the mediums, you could do a medium with 2 soft stints to round it off. Of course, it is quite a high degradation track, but the softs being, well, the softest compound, they're gonna be the quickest. So if you can have your last 2 stints on the faster compound, you're gonna be in a good spot.
Yeah, and I think with this track, as you said, the softs die off quite quickly, and that's why drivers were setting their times on the mediums. So it'll be interesting how the top 5 manage with the tyre wear. But I'll hand you over to yourself for the race start with the 5 red lights.
Yeah, okay, so we're just waiting for Josh to get into his grid slot, as everyone is now here, just waiting for the lights to come up. Where are they? There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights patiently waiting, and we are off. Luca gets a good start, but Samba as well gets an excellent start, already on the back, 3 wide into turn 1. A little bit of contact between Julian and Samba, but Luca stays up there. Toma gets past Foxy, and we have chopping and changing around the back of the grid. Mini Meerkat drops back 2 places, but so far no incidents from anyone. So yeah, Luca with a good start, but Samba arguably the best start out of anyone.
Yeah, that was a pitch perfect race start there for ERT Samba in the Aston, and he's just going to now have to really close that gap up to Luca, as I believe Henry is right on the back of Julian as they come through the hairpin on that one. And as they go through the hairpin, no DRS activated at the moment. They'll have to wait another lap for that, but there's some action happening at the back.
Yeah, Panoscara's really falling down now as he's been passed by Funky and Bats, so not a great start for himself. Of course, his teammate Samba is up in P2, and Panoscara gets passed by Boogeyman now, so he's now down another spot. Maybe I'm missing
at the back.
Oh,
Virtual safety car. Mini, Meerkat and Josh, I think they've both had an incident. Safety car, we have the first safety car. This could be a very long night.
yeah, very, very long night for us, but I do believe it's sort of like, if you're in this situation, would you pit?
I wouldn't pit right now. No, it's too early. Why would you risk a pit stop when the safety car could come out at a later lap and then you get the free pit stop then? Because the softs won't last this long, the mediums won't last, and nobody is going to go for the hards.
No.
Because they are absolutely terrible. Drivers are picking up 5-second penalties. Bats has left the session, so I don't know if he might be having internet connection issues. Where is he on the track? He's P12, so I just wonder if he's going to cause anyone further penalties. But yeah, first safety car within 2 laps, so drivers are going to be waiting till around about lap 5 or 6 before DRS is enabled. Nobody goes for the pits, as expected. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting now race, as the soft tyres will last a few extra laps.
Yeah, definitely. This safety car is really helping them, but we do have one person coming into the pits, which is Stinner. He doesn't look like he had any wing damage, but he's putting on the hard tyres. So maybe looking to just go really long on this and then put on a set of softs right at the end to utilise the track conditions and, well, the low fuel.
Yeah, and Bats has joined. I think also with the hards, if there is another safety car, he hasn't got a pit. That's another retirement.
Yeah, I saw that as it happened. Eden, I think he just got too much on the entry curb and he was just accelerating and it spun him off. So unfortunately we do have 3 drivers who are already out in this race, 3 laps in. So safety car should be coming in next lap.
Yeah, I think Eden had a George moment and binned it under the safety car, unfortunately. But yeah, hopefully that safety car does come in. It's looking like it's an Aston Martin 1-3 here at the moment with that safety car out at the moment.
Yeah, it's a 1-3-15 for Aston Martin right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they can get good finishes here, but I do. The delta's actually broken. Oh, there we go, it's fixed itself as everyone is crossing the line. So yeah, there's not really much to talk about now as the safety car is going round. So now would be a very good opportunity to go through the rest of the calendar for TUF1 here, if I can just get it up. So of course we are here in Canada. Next Monday we have Bahrain. Race 3 we have Brazil. Race 4 is Australia. Then round 5 in Baku. Round 6 will be Jeddah. Round 7 is China, and the last race of the season is at France. So pretty mixed calendar here. We've got street circuits, we've got fast circuits as well. Of course, a new circuit to the game, the newest one in Saudi Arabia. So that will be interesting to see some racing on, as the safety car is coming in this lap, so it's on Luca to dictate the pace and it's on him to have a good restart.
Yeah, as he's gonna weave the car just to get some temperature in the tyre. Just going back to that calendar, whoever put Jeddah on there, I think needs to have a talk to, because yeah, that track's no good for racing. But yeah, back to the action here, as it looks like Luca is gonna go very shortly, as I'll get up the telemetry, because I won't know when he's gone if not. Yeah, he's really bunched up the pack here. He's going to wait till the last moment, I think. He wants to let everybody get through the Wall of Champions in one piece. We've seen, as I think, yeah, Luca has gone, and he is off and away, and it looks like he hasn't caught Samba napping, but yeah, he's got a 5/10 gap already.
Yeah. He hasn't caught him napping at all, as we saw Snarf actually come in at the end of the safety car, at the end of the restart, so I'm not sure if he had wing damage or not, but he's put on a set of softs, so... Oh, Samba had a little bit of a moment there coming out of the chicane, the long chicane there. But everyone is still quite bunched up. No one has broken DRS as of yet. Boogeyman gets past Bats, and so does Panascar. Bats is going really slow.
Yeah, he did lag out the session and rejoin, so I just wonder if he's having internet connection issues. And what's quite interesting, one AlphaTauri's leading the race and one's right at the back, so it's pretty much a whole complete AlphaTauri sandwich.
Yeah, it's AlphaTauri sandwich here, but Snarf did put in a purple sector 2. Luca puts in a 1:11.6 as the fastest lap. Don't think anyone's going to beat that. We do see Bats is in the pits. He does have wing damage, so that is maybe why he was slow and letting everyone through. Of course, he does have 5-second penalties, so he will have to serve that. And Samba, he is really closed up to the back of Luca. Funky gets past Boogeyman now, and Panos Cara is 2.2 seconds behind Kill, so he's got a bit of a gap to close up. But yeah, we're starting to see people breaking that DRS gap. But yeah, Luca's sitting pretty comfortable up front, I have to say, with Samba just over 3.5 attempts, well, just over 3 attempts now behind him. So yeah, it's looking very, very competitive here at the front as DRS is enabled.
Yeah, it is still very close between all these drivers, and it looks like one of the Ferrari in 6th is like the odd one out here, because he's in the top 10 on the mediums, and he may start to get swarmed by the only Toma as he is rapidly closing him down, as that is maybe going to be an overtake.
He did have a little bit of a moment coming out of the chicane. He just lost traction a little bit, but he managed to keep it on the road. As you see, another 3-second time penalty, this time for Boogeyman. But yeah, the front two of Samba and Luca are really starting to pull away now. Samba looks to the inside and he gets the move done. No real defending from Luca there. But yeah, Samba is out in front ahead of Luca, and Julian comes into the pits. Is that a wing change? It is. It is a wing change for Julian. So maybe it's going to be very hard, very difficult, but still got really 28 laps of racing left. And I believe someone they've really got to look out for is Miltos. He's up into P4 now, past Henry. It doesn't look like he's got any wing damage, but no, he doesn't. It doesn't look like he's got any wing damage in terms of visual, but he is dropping back slightly from Toma, as yeah, Miltos looking very, very good up in P4 on the mediums. Of course, he will be going longer than anyone in the top 8.
Yeah, and when the only Toma did pass Henry did move out of the way, so I think he has some floor damage or some side pod damage. As the only Toma actually has DRS on Militos, so this will be interesting as they come into turn 1. Only Toma won't get the move done, but yeah, a few of the drivers are now pitting, and yeah, Henry is into the pits. So I wonder if that will be a wing change.
Yeah, it is. I'm on board with him now, and he is getting his wing changed. So of course this track does take a toll on the car if you aren't getting the laps hooked up 100%. But key thing to note is that Julian is actually miles ahead of Henry. He's, well, 6.5 seconds ahead of him. That is closing rapidly, but he is out ahead as Kills gets a 3-second time penalty there for, I'm guessing, exceeding track limits. But Luca is sticking behind Samba. It did look like he was struggling a little bit, being 8 tenths behind, but he is close as Miltos gets past on Vince. So now in the top 3 for Miltos. So now the job for him is to close in this 2.2 second gap up to Luca. He's got fresh air in front of him. And Toma and Foxy are now in the pits, both putting on the mediums. So maybe for Toma looking to get an undercut on the likes of Vin.
Yeah, as one Red Bull has pitted, which is the only Toma, should I say. As Julian sets the fastest lap. Oh, this could be quite interesting. Only Toma comes out right directly beside an AlphaTauri. That is some very competitive racing there, and I think Julian may just want to sit back here. Virtual safety car. Somebody has had an off.
Yeah, I was on board with Vin for a second, and going out of that uphill chicane, it seems to be catching out a lot of people, as on the exit he just got a bit too much on the throttle and he spun into the wall and completely lost his front wing. So he's gonna have to come into the pits, but thankfully there's a virtual safety car that he caused, so he won't be losing as much time. Samba and Luca do come into the pits. Miltos stays out, and I believe Panos Kara will actually be staying out as well. So the two brothers will be in P1 and P2, both on the medium sets of tyre.
Yeah, they are nearly going 3 wide down into one of Champions, but that ended very quickly for Only Toma, as Julian gets past him, and he is now going to be overtaken by an AlphaTauri who is on 6 lap worn soft. So I don't think he may not even battle this one, but the only time of his sight now is Julian, as he is on the fresher mediums.
Yeah, just looking at the pits, like how many stops everyone's made. The top 3 all haven't stopped yet, but everyone else has stopped. So looking at the gaps to the leaders, I do believe the pit stop loss is about 20 seconds, I think. Near enough, 20-25 seconds. But looking at Miltos, he would be looking to drop behind Foxy, which isn't the best scenario. And for Panos Kara, he's going to be looking to drop behind, I'd say, Vin, or maybe get out just ahead of him. And for Funky, well, he's going to be dropping back quite far. He's going to be dropping back behind Kills, as Julian puts in another fastest lap on the medium, so 1:10.7. And yeah, Samba is really starting to close up on the back of Funky now, as Funky doesn't even defend it as Samba gets through. So now 2 Aston Martins in the top 3 positions. But yeah, Miltos and Pascara will be looking to try and extend this stint as long as they can. Of course, they have had the safety car and the virtual safety car to help them out with that. And yeah, they're just going to be looking to extend it as long as they can, so they can do 2 sets of mediums. Yeah,
and I think the first stop will be the key one, of how many positions after the pit stop can I make for when they come later on in the race, when they do go for that second pit stop. It'll be very, very crucial. I think this first pit stop we'll see who has got the pace to get back up the order. As it seems to be a battle here for P7, no P6, as the only Tomac is right on the back of the Ferrari.
Yeah, he's getting very close to the back of Stinner now, just going through this downhill chicane. It catches out a lot of people. Nearly caught out Stinner there as he completely closes the door on Toma, but he keeps the position. Bats has now retired. I do believe he's gone into the pits and retired, which is very unfortunate to see. But yeah, Toma gets past Stinner and now he's got a job to try and catch, well yeah, try and catch Julian, and then the hardest part of that is then overtaking. As a great Murray Walker said, it's one thing to catch, it's another to overtake.
Yeah, of course, and with a track like Canada, the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve is, I can't really remember it, but yeah, it is an iconic track, especially with, I think we all can agree, the Sebastian Vettel and Hamilton incident. Remember for that incident where Vettel got that 5-second penalty, and he moved that, well, whatever you want to call it, that post thing, whatever, and put it in front of his car. I think that's one of the more iconic Canada races. I think Jenson Button has been, I think, that 2011 race, I think, as well. So yeah, it's got some history behind it, and we haven't seen it for the last 1 or 2 years because of current pandemic situation. So it's nice to see it on the virtual track.
Yeah, just looking on board with Panoscaras, so actually an overtake is, I saw Samba overtaking Panoscara there, so the two Aston Martins switching positions. Of course, the Panoscara did not make it easy at all for Samba, but now Samba's got a job on him to close up a 7.5-second gap to Miltos as Funky comes into the pits. He's got to serve his 5-second penalty. He's going on to another set of mediums, which will mean that he has to do another stop. But this track anyways, there's no way you can really do a one stop here unless you do 15-16 laps on mediums and then go to the hards towards the end. But that isn't a preferred strategy around here.
Yeah, I think unless there's another safety car, which could spice this up if it gets to lap 20. Yeah, it's interesting that nobody has made any further pit stops, as Samba isn't really closing up that gap, even though he's on 10 lap fresher mediums. He's still 7 seconds behind.
Yeah, it's really, well, Miltos is just shown he still has the pace on the tyres as Luca gets past Panoscara, and now Panoscara's got a really big job on his hands to try and keep up with him, as he's got about nearly 7-second gap back to Julian. So yeah, it's not looking great for Panoscara at the moment, and Toma, well, the gap hasn't really changed to the back of Julian. It might have improved by 4 or 5 tenths, but he's still keeping relatively close to him.
Yeah, and I think that's what you've got to do with these types of track. You've got to try and keep close as possible, so if somebody makes a mistake, then you can pounce on it. But yeah, I think once the gap gets too big, it is, yeah, kind of game over unless there is a safety car and you are on the leading lap, which everybody is. So this could help out the soft runners, not soft runners, the two hard runners, because if the safety car comes out around about lap 23 to 25, they can go on to a set of softs, and that could save their race, because it's looking at the moment that they will be probably coming in very shortly, and it may be for a set of mediums.
I was just on board with Foxy and Henry. They were in a three-way battle, with Stinner. Both of them got past him, and Santero now gets past Stinner, so hard tyres maybe going through a little bit of a bad patch here, but they are a very durable tyre nonetheless, as yeah, there's still a couple people who haven't made a stop yet.
I do apologise for my landline ringing. My mum's picked it up.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, no, I didn't realise it was going to go off. But yeah, as you were saying, I think a safety car right now would really spice it up, bring everybody back into a level playing field, especially the ones that are on the mediums now. They could potentially go on to a set of softs. But yeah, it's very tricky of what lap you want that safety car to come out, because, you know, the softs don't last long. As Henry picks up a 3-second company, and so does Vin as well, so track limits being used to their full extent.
Yeah, we've got more than half the grid, actually, well, half of the remaining drivers have got penalties. There's only 6, maybe 7, I can't remember if Snarf has got one, but 6 people have not got any penalties. Yeah, 6 people, as Toma picks up another penalty. That gap from himself to Julian has now been extended by a second, which is not what you want to see if you're Toma, and the gap from Julian to Panascara is nearly halved. Well, it's more than halved. The last time we were checking on the gap, it's now 3 seconds before it was round about 7. So Panascara is really starting to struggle on these mediums, and maybe he's just trying to extend it as long as he can, so he can go on to a set of softs, which is ambitious to say the least, but it will definitely benefit him.
Yeah, and I think we're now coming into that area of the race where the more, I wouldn't say worn mediums, but the ones that are on the 9 laps, maybe just be coming into that part where, I think if you go back to Turkey this year, where they had the intermediates, they've gone through the flat spot phase. They're now at that area where the tyres are going to come into their optimal area, where they're going to be at the right time and the right place where the drivers want to be, and they can set their, well, the faster lap times, and we can really see them maybe closing up to the gaps to the drivers in front of them, and maybe some overtakes, as Militos is now into the pits, as he is gone for the softs, and so is his brother, I believe, and that is Panos Kara into the pits, so they will be on to softs. So 18 laps for the mediums, and Julian has been on them for 12, so he may be pitting in the next 6 or 7 laps. Oh, that's a bit tasty there, as Toma gets past Militos, as the Ferrari driver returns on the track from his first pit stop of the day.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see a 1 stop here, as it's traditionally a 2 stop. So yeah, Miltos has got to extend these softs, and his brother Panos. They've got to extend them for, well, 16 laps of racing, which sounds impossible, quite frankly. But I do believe, with the pace advantage that they will have, being on a softer tyre, it wouldn't surprise me if Miltos is right back up close to Julian, Luca and Samba, and Panos Kara. Wouldn't surprise me if he can get up into top 7.
Yeah, and it's now becoming to the point of who's going to win it without a penalty, because everybody except from Panos Kara, his brother, and Luca and Samba are the only drivers not to have a penalty. So that podium could be getting very tasty come the final 14 laps.
Yeah, So just on board with Miltos now, and he has just set a purple first sector. Just gonna go back to Panascara. He doesn't, so if he keeps on going, Miltos will be looking to set a fastest lap as he sets a purple sector 2 now. So it's looking very good. I wonder what time he will set. He is closing up very quickly. Panascara gets a penalty now, so he has ruled himself out essentially of getting a good finish virtue of, well, penalties, and Panascara sets a 1:10.2. That's only 5 tenths quicker than Julian's fastest lap of a 1:10.7, and that was on the medium, so that's an indication the medium does look like it's a overall better race tyre.
Yeah, I think it may be easier for him in these last 13 laps now, because the mediums will be coming to the end of their life, especially the ones that are on 12, 13 laps. The softs will now be very ready to, you know, get past a lot of the drivers. So yeah, I reckon Panascara could still get himself up there, Julian into the pits as well on a fresh set of mediums, so he could also put himself in the hat, but he has got a few penalties, so yeah, it's going to be interesting final 13 laps.
Yeah, Samba comes into the pits to put on a set of soft tyres. So he's done 2 stops now. Let's see where he comes out. He does come out ahead of Luca, so at the moment is Miltos in the lead. He has the net race lead. Samba's got P2, Luca's got P3, and I believe it will be Julian P4 and Panascara P5. So of course you have the penalties, so there won't be the top 3 at the moment. Like the net top 3 all haven't got penalties, so that's going to be decided on track, whereas from P4 downwards everyone will have penalties, so it's going to be really crucial to see how many 3-second time penalties everyone has, as that can be a real decider and it can really push you down a few places.
Yeah, as I believe Samba's pitted for his second stop and has gone for the soft compound tyre, so he may still be looking at a P2 if he can get past Untitled quickly enough. Maybe a race win is still in the cards for him, but being in P3 is not going to help his case at the moment, as he's going to have to catch up to Untitled.
Yeah, he's actually right at the back of the Untitled. He's only 2.5 tenths behind him. Of course, you'd think that Toma has to pit again, being on 14 lap old mediums. You'd think he'd pit on to the softs, and maybe he'll be in a really good position. Looking at where he'll drop back, he would actually, I'd be guessing, he would drop back sort of the area behind Foxy or even behind Snarf. But yeah, Samba looks to make a move on his ERT teammate, and he gets it done, of course, having a pace advantage on the tyres. But yeah, top 3 all ERT drivers. There's 4 ERT drivers in the top 5.
Yeah, so it's going quite well for ERT at the moment, as yeah, I think Luca still could throw a party pooper, because he's on fresh mediums and he has no penalties. He's one of the only drivers now to not have a penalty, as Boogeyman gets another penalty. Yeah, it just seems like Panascara is just stuck maybe in a DRS train. He is still not moved from 9th, even after 5 laps on the soft compound tyre, as Luca is getting right on the back. Oh, he goes down the inside on the hairpin, and he gets the move done. Has he got it done? He pushes the Onitoma a little bit and gets the better traction as they come down the back straight. They're going to go side by side. Hopefully they don't go into the back of Samba, as Samba is into the pits. That's interesting. Samba is into the pits after 2 laps on the softs.
He's got wing damage.
That would be why then. Well, that's his podium gone.
But yes, looking really good for Luca now, as he's got just under an 8-second gap to make up to Miltos. Of course, being one of only 3 drivers without penalties here, having a tyre advantage that he has, the softs will really start to fall off towards the end of the stint as Samba gets a time penalty. So now there's only 2 drivers who haven't got any penalties, and like I was saying, Miltos's tyres are really gonna drop off towards the end of the stint, whereas Luca's, they're gonna be at, if not just past, their peak towards the end.
Yeah, this is gonna be a close one at the end, I think, as Vin has got himself back up to P5, but on 15 lap mediums. So Panos Kyra could still be looking at maybe a P5 if he can create that gap because of his penalties. Only Toma could get a position or 2, as he's on fresh softs as well. Same for Samba. Samba's only got 3 seconds, so he's still in with a chance of a top finish. He's just got to pick himself up after the 3rd pit stop, I believe, or 2nd, and his wing damage, as Funky is now into pits and he's retired.
Yeah, it wasn't going great for Funky. He was sat in P13, really in middle of nowhere, but yeah, it's unfortunate to see, as I think our Santero went very, very AWOL at the last chicane, well, second last chicane of the lap. Well, there's multiple chicanes at this track, as we know, so it gets a bit confusing from time to time. But yeah, Santero does drop back behind Panos Kyra, so Panos Kyra is in P6 now, and once, I do believe Henry will have to pit, and Vin may have to pit as well. So Julian may be looking at getting a podium here, and Panos Kyra, well, he's going to be net P4 as it stands. Samba puts in a 1:10.0, fastest lap of the race. He takes that away from Miltos, who put in a 1:10.2, so the gap from Miltos to Luca hasn't changed. If anything, it's been extended by a couple tenths. So yeah, Luca's really struggling to try and catch up with Miltos here.
Yeah, and I think also the use of ERS around this track is quite a thing as well. That might be what's hampering Luca from getting any closer, because he's probably using quite a lot of it. Let me just see how much he has. He's got 8%. He may just need to recharge it, as I believe Henry is into the pits. Oh no, Julian has got past him on the track, so that's an on-track position there for Julian, and he's up to P3.
Yeah, just looking on board with Panos Kyra now, he's really close behind Vin, and just looking at his ERS, he's still got 90% left. So he's looking very strong in that department, and I think everyone else will be quite low and struggling. Well, apart from the next highest here is actually Miltos, I believe, and he's on about 50%. So Miltos and Panos Kyra are looking very strong on their ERS, as Panos Kyra gets a move done on Vin, and now he's up into P5, and he's 4 seconds back from Henry as Toma gets a move done on Santero. Santero is dropping back a little bit. He is over a second behind now. Make that nearly 2 seconds behind Toma as Samba is really closing up on him. That's round about the 1.3 seconds mark. And yeah, it's getting very close between the podium finishes here as well. Panos Carra's got to make up round about 12 seconds to try. Actually, 12 seconds? No. He's got to make up 5 seconds roughly to try and catch Julian here. But the softs are they're going to really start feeling the pain now. As 10 laps old, they're really going to start coming towards the end of the stint. And Henry, well, he's on 21 lap old mediums right now, so in a little bit he's really going to be struggling for these last, I'd say, 1 or 2 laps on the mediums.
Yeah, especially to go 21 laps, as we saw a few of the others go on 18 laps, so he's definitely going to be feeling the pain of their mediums as he is on 21 laps. Vin's also on 19 laps. Kills on 21 lap hards. I'm very surprised he's still going.
Yeah, the hards, they are the most durable tyre, but once they get towards the end of the stint, they really start falling off, so I'd imagine they'd still be going relatively strong here, but it's going to be really tough to see how he does towards the end of his stint, as well Vin is actually keeping within DRS range of Panos, and Panos isn't really making any inroads to the back of Henry.
Yeah, as Boogeyman gets another 3-second time penalty, and yeah, it just shows what this track is about, and yeah, it does love a penalty as 4 laps remain. In its, Luca has now lost another 1.1 seconds, even though he's on a younger medium tyre than them 12 lap softs.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Panos Carra now, and he's actually within a range to jump Henry and Julian and get a podium here. So yeah, it's looking like it could be a very, very good race for Panos Carra, starting from 11th, but he does have Vin very close to the back of him within 5.5 tenths. Make that nearly 4 tenths to the back of him, so Panos Carra's got a very big job to try and keep both Vin and Toma behind him.
Yeah, the 2 Red Bulls, funny enough, gonna try and get past the Aston Martin, as this could actually work as a slipstream down that back. Vin has DRS, and I believe the only Toma does as well. So this will be interesting. Oh, as Toma is going to be let past. I think it's because he's on fresher softs. He is on 6 lap fresh softs, so very team order there by Red Bull, as the only Toma is right on the back of the Aston Martin. As they go down the back straight, he is using, literally, he's run out of ERS, he's going to go round the outside. This is not going to go all, they go through all the champions, and he doesn't get the move done as they come to lap number 33, as he goes for the move, and yeah, the move doesn't get done as he comes through into turn 2, but the Aston Martin driver of Panos Carra still stays in P5.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened to Luca here, but he's really fell back from, well, the back of Miltos. He's really fallen back now, and it's 13.5, nearly 14 seconds. Maybe he's got front wing damage, which is hampering him. But just going back to Panos Carra, he has dropped really far back because of this battle in between himself and Toma. And because of the battle, Samba's actually got involved in it now. And Panascara's in a really bad situation now as he's got Toma right next to him. And he will have DRS, I believe he does. But Toma really struggling with ERS, and so is Panascara. Toma gets ahead. No contact, thankfully, as Samba gets past Vin. So what was once a Aston Martin sandwich is now a Red Bull sandwich.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be very surprised if Samba gets the move done on his teammate very quickly, as I believe Samba only has 3 seconds, so he could still move up the grid, as there's a battle for P13, and oh, Julian and Luca have switched.
Oh yeah, Luca, I don't know what's happened to him. Maybe he's got wing damage here, but it's really odd to see that he was once 7 seconds behind Miltos, and that's practically doubled now.
Yeah, as Samba and Vin are having a battle, it seems as the only Toma has pulled a gap as well, and they've all got DRS, I believe. Samba is going to get a move. Oh no, he's not. He's going to tuck himself back in there, and we're on the last lap of this race, lap 35 of 35.
Yeah, Miltos has, well, he's really dominated this as Vin now gets past Panascara, but they're still battling, and Panascara actually stays ahead, and well, Vin has spun. Vin's actually spun, and maybe that was contact between Panascara and Vin. But yeah, it's really unfortunate to see that Vin has spun, and all of that work to get onto the back of Panascara has been undone. But there's only one man that we need to be concentrating in this moment. It is Miltos. He led practically all of this race apart from when he pit, but he wins in Canada. Julian just coming down to the Wall of Champions chicane now. He will get P2 on track, but he will drop behind Luca. So P3 for Julian, P2 for Luca. Henry gets P4 on track. Toma jumps up into P4. See where Samba goes. Samba's P7, Panascara is P6. Snarf actually got past Vin, and well, that's the top 10 rounded off with Vin in 9th, Foxy in 10th, Snarf in P8, Santero goes P11. Both of, well, the Alpine drivers side by side in the timings, but Boogeyman's gonna really start dropping back. He's dropped back behind Kills and Dreamsy. Well, he's the last of the finishers, but he finishes P15. So if this is an indication for how the season's gonna go, it's gonna be a very competitive season at the front and even in the mid-pack. So yeah, going through the final standings with penalties, we have Miltos in P1 and Luca in P2, the only 2 drivers to actually go without getting any penalties. Rounding off the podium, we have Julian in P4, Toma in P5, we have ERT Henry, P6 we have Panascara, P7 and 8 we have Samba and Snarf, 9th and 10th we have Vin and Foxy, and P11 Santero, P12 we have Stinner, P13 Kills, P14 Boogeyman, 15th we have Dreamsy, and then we have the DNFs, we have Funky, Bats, Eden, Josh and Mini Meerkat. So yeah, it's been very exciting race to watch and exciting race to commentate with you, Storm.
Yeah, well, one of the very well, it is the first time we've commentated together, and hopefully not the last. And hopefully I can return back later on in the season, and maybe in 2022, as we are fastly approaching Christmas. But if you don't have me in a com box before then, obviously, hopefully in 22 it will happen, and hopefully everyone has a good Christmas. And yeah, if I don't return back, then I'll see you in the new year.
Yeah. So this is us for TUF1 here. Of course, we do have TUF2 on Wednesday, which I believe they are racing at Mexico for the first race of the season over there. So probably won't be me commentating, but we'll see you on Wednesday nonetheless.